Welcome back. Welcome back. Oh, I just tried to do some yard cleanup real quick because I had a little event here and I'm now sweating. That was a bad idea. It's actually humid in San Diego, which normally is never that humid here. So that's the other thing. I'm like, am I in Hawaii right now? Good Lord. All right. So let me pull up our workbook. Debbie, are you here? So good to have you here if you're here. Yay, Deb. Glad you got some outside time in as well. Righty. Okay, so we're going to move on to the third component of what makes a successful launch. And obviously, ladies, there's a whole lot more to a launch, right? But these are the four main things that we could cover today. So just know that this is not the only things you need. At the end of this workbook, we're going to get through the content I have for you today. And then the rest of this workbook you can use at home and fill in and go over that. We won't be able to cover all of it today, but you'll have it as kind of a workbook template for your launch and whatever you're doing. Okay, yay, Debbie, glad you're here and you're driving. Okay. All right, ladies. So the next part of what you need is your signature kind of talk, your content, what you're going to actually be teaching. And so let me share screen and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay. You guys see that? Yep. Okay. So this section is usually, again, depending on what kind of event you're doing, what you're doing, how you're doing it, it's going to be about 25 minutes to 75 minutes, right? Of this is where you're giving a lot of value. As you can see, right? I'm giving you as much as I can in this free webinar masterclass because I want you to get the benefit out of saying yes to coming here and seeing that this is what we have to provide you beyond this class, right? This is an example. I'm literally teaching you what I'm doing right now is what's happening, right? That makes sense. So this is, or coming in still. So this is what happens after you tell that story piece. This is the segue where you'll go into actually teaching them something that you're an expert in. And you want to make sure that you're leaving room for engagement like we are, right? Where I'm going one-on-one with you. I'm trying to support you. We're doing group stuff. We're playing in the chat a bit. You have to have room for that. You don't want to just be talking at people. That's how you lose people. It gets boring. They're not engaged. You want to make sure that you always have time for engagement so that people can feel like they're part of what you're doing, right? This is a difference between a feminine way of doing things where you're actually, it's all about connecting and getting everyone involved versus kind of that more masculine energy of I'm just going to teach you these things, fill out the workbook, peace out, right? That's not what you want to do here. This is a feminine way of doing business and doing sales. So the main thing that I'm going to always beat into your heads is that it's really about the context, right? It's about what you create, how safe the environment is for people to engage. I think right now, most of you feel yeah, we can be vulnerable. We can talk about some personal things because I've created that context that this container is a safe place for all of us to share, right? Does that make sense to everybody? When I say that, it's really not so much about what you're going to teach. It's more about the space that you're holding and the environment that you're creating. Does that resonate with you all? Yeah? Awesome. Okay. So the other thing, ladies, is don't give it all away, right? We want to make sure that we're giving value, but a lot of times there's some stuff that we bump up against within ourselves. This is that inner work piece, right? About being an entrepreneur is am I good enough? Is what I'm going to teach them enough, right? Remember that you can't possibly give them everything that you know in this short amount of time. First of all, people can only take in a certain amount of information in one session, right? And then second of all, you don't want to give it all away. You're trying to sell them into something else, right? That's the bigger package. That's the bigger thing where the more details are going to be coming. So these are the main things to remember when you're working on content for your event. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. And I want us to kind of brainstorm a little bit, drop it in the comments. And if anybody wants to talk about potentially what they could share with their content in their event, let's talk about it. So if anybody want to be brave and speak up? Anybody? Hanadina, do you want to share? Tell me a little bit about you.
Hi, yes. I'll do the best I can. I missed parts of it, but so I am still in the process of figuring out how to put it all together, but I've finally started figuring out how to brand myself. So I am in the financial industry, and there's two sets of people that I help. One is I help stay-at-home moms because I'm building a team to help stay-at-home moms to learn how to make an income that can help to support the family and that can work with staying home with their children. I have definitely a story of how I was a stay-at-home mom over 20 years ago, and I would never what do you call it? I would always do that again and again and again and again if given the opportunity, because it was a wonderful experience. But the one thing that I wish I learned at that time was how to have a source of income that could help support the family. And being vulnerable, I have a passion for it is that it did create my family to have to file bankruptcy during that period of time, just because it was really hard. And it was just not having the skills or not having the situation that I'm in right now. So that's why stay-at-home moms is something I'm very passionate about, and knowing that we can work with each person according to their circumstances. And then the other one that I want to help are business people who are in the age range of 35 to 55. A lot of them are not really prepared for retirement. And so we teach them some financial tools, or actually share with them some ways that they can realize a tax-free retirement and to be prepared for that.
Thank you so much for sharing. I totally hear your heart here. I was a stay-at-home mom myself, and my partner walked out, and I had to quickly figure out what I was going to do. I became a solo mom like out of nowhere, and it was the scariest moment of my life. So I so appreciate that you wanting to help stay-at-home moms, because it's such a need, right? Women need to feel like they have some autonomy, some freedom, some choices in life. And you also want to be there for your kids when they're young. That's the most impactful age. So I think this is such a beautiful niche that you've chosen. And I love that it's, it goes along right with, the other thing, the business people. I mean, I think this could be used for the stay-at-home moms too, right? Like they need retirement. I think it could be really anybody who needs retirement, which is everybody, right? So I love that. And especially tax-free. That sounds really nice, doesn't it, everybody? So I love this. Okay, yeah. And then I know you were missed a little bit, but the bankruptcy story would be the perfect story for showing, your heart, like for them to getting to know you and your why, right? And how you're the person they could trust to help them, because you've experienced this yourself and you've climbed out of it, right? So this is the perfect story for that. So I love that for you. So say you were going to be leading a masterclass online for stay-at-home moms, right? What kind of content would you want to create or have to teach them? Just that maybe it was like 25 minutes long, right? That you could give them something like really valuable, but then not give it all away, like we're saying. What kind of ideas do you have?
Well, in my business, we are part of a way greater financial team. I know that the usual thing, and of course, this is why I'm glad I get to be part of this masterclass. We already have presentations in place. And so the main thing I think that would appeal to someone as far as stay-at-home moms is just the fact that we give, kind of like what we call on-the-job training, but it really does come down to it they don't need the experience. What they need is to be coachable. They need to be what's the word? I don't know. Did I mention coachable? They need to be
Yeah.
coachable. That's really important. And they need to feel that they can dream. I think that that's really important. I think it's sometimes really easy for people to feel like, um, it's either too good to be true, or sometimes they just accept the fact that this is their situation, and they don't like really give themselves the ability to um, place themselves in a position of, why don't you just see what it's about? And why don't you just give yourself the ability to learn about it and then make a decision? One thing that I learned, we offer a lot of leadership training, leadership tips, and personal development. So I do like that is something that I could um, include as a service for free that can really help people, not only um, in the business, but I know that for me, having three adult sons, and they're doing really well financially, they have the entrepreneurial mindset, even though they are really, they still work as employees, but they've always been a lot about um, thinking either outside of the box or just they have a mindset of greatness. I think I would say about my sons.
Good job, Mama. Good job. I love this. Yeah, I think what's coming through for me is like, what are the things that like are you the right fit for this, right? Like maybe that's what the webinar is about. Like, do you have these things, or do you have the desire? This is kind of what it requires. It requires like open-mindedness, right? Being coachable, teachable, willingness to learn, motivation for bigger, like, do you have the vision, right? Like things like that. So I think that could be some really good content. And then maybe you could even give some actual like hard, tangible figures of what is possible for these ladies if they say yes to doing something like this, right? So giving them some case studies, some testimonials, right? Things like that, ladies, are going to be really important in your content. Is if you can have even somebody come onto your class and speak to like a client, right? Somebody who's already worked with you, and they can speak to like the experience they've had with you already and their results that they've gotten. That can be very powerful part of the content, or that can also be part of the offer, which we're about to get to here in a minute. So yeah, I think there's many things you could do here. So yeah, thank you for sharing. And I love what you're trying to
Thank
do.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, ladies. So we're going to take 5 minutes, and I'm going to have you just fill out in the workbook, like prepare an outline of what you could teach and be an expert in. That's not giving it all away, right? Following these parameters, right? That's engaging. Is there something you could put them in a breakout room? Is there something you could have, like, you can see, right? That having you guys engage a lot. I'm having you do a lot of the work here. You're writing things out. You're doing stuff in real time. We're giving you something tangible to walk away with, right? You're giving you a little mini plan of what to do. So think in these terms, kind of exactly what you're experiencing right now here. How can you apply this to your audience and your masterclass? So take 5, write all this stuff down, and we'll take a couple shares. All right. Set the timer. 30 more seconds, ladies. Okay. Who would like to share some content some content ideas they have for what you could teach in your class? Anybody? Anybody? Nobody wants to share?
I'm open to sharing. I just don't want to take over the conversation.
Oh, no one's beating down my door right now for my advice, so let's go for it.
Okay. It actually, when I was going through this exercise, I was beginning to feel a little, I started thinking, wow, what can I share? Like, what can I do? What am I expert in? And although I feel like I know a lot, but as far as an expert, sometimes I think that means like everything. So sometimes I feel like, oh, should I say that I'm an expert at this? But um I do know networking is something that I've always been really good at. And I know like the importance of like really being open to learning about people and how to like really network so that you're really creating friendship and you're creating this likability factor and importance of like being totally interested in people. I know that because I've been in a lot of um, networking groups. The other thing that I feel is creating multiple streams of income. I can't say that I am like making tons of money, but I know that multiple streams of income from home, I think is something that I can share about how, they can make it possible, what's like necessary to do that. And then the last thing I would say is financial awareness, because I do feel that people also they're I think we're just so uh in the mindset of that everything's like okay, like people aren't really thinking about their future. I think we're all in a situation where we just live day to day, and like we don't like really start thinking about, there is going to be a time when it's important to start planning. And today is the day to start. And so sometimes just having people see that there are ways to be financially aware and be prepared without feeling like you're going to break the bank to do that. And so I think those are the things that I could be an expert at, or at least create some awareness of.
I love all these ideas. I think part of, there you are, part
Sorry.
of, you know, helping stay-at-home moms to get out of like, right, like not just be a mom at home, right? They're trying to start their own financial business. Networking is going to be a huge part of that, right? And so teaching those skills, there is a skill to that. It's not just something that people are maybe sometimes naturally good at. You have to actually be intentional about that if you want results from the action, right? So I think
Right.
that's great. I think anybody could always use financial awareness, preparedness, education. That's really missing from growing up in high school and middle school and all of that in society, unfortunately. So that's always a yes, I would say, and it goes along with your content. So yeah, I mean, I think one thing I want to say to you is that, and this is for all of you, it's very easy for us as women to not feel like we're an expert in something, right? That word maybe can feel like it triggers maybe a little imposter syndrome. But if you've lived through something, if you have experience in something, then you're the expert in that room at least, right?
Mhm.
And we got to be careful about not, like thinking like what is an expert and putting too much energy into that word versus like just owning what you know and just being confident in that, right? Yeah, maybe you're not the world's foremost expert, but You're the expert in that space. That's why they're there. They're there to talk to you because you know more than the rest of the people in that room, most likely, right? Am I the number one launch expert? No. But have I done this enough to where I feel really good about it? Absolutely, right? And you're all here because been doing this for so long that I'm the expert in this room, right? So just wanted to touch on that too for all of you. Like, be careful of the mindset of like, we're not enough and somebody else is smarter, better, blah, 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 right? So yeah, I hope that's helpful. My screen is okay.
That was, thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that advice. That is important. I think it does. It's easy for me to like feel like I can't move forward because like you said, the imposter syndrome. It's like, what do I know compared to this person? And I think that's very valuable what you just shared. Mindset is important.
yeah. It's like literally half the battle, ladies, it is the entrepreneurial, like, you have to like be remembering that you are good at what you do. There's a reason why you're doing it. There's a reason why you were called to do it. It's because it's what you're made to do. So that in and of itself makes you an amazing expert, right? Yes, there you
Yes.
go, Debbie. You only need to be a couple steps ahead of the person wanting to learn what you have to offer. Exactly the great way to say that. Thank you, darling. Um, so, okay, I love all of that. Let's go. Let me go back to our workbook. We're going to get in, unless anybody else wants to share, we're going to get into the offer because this is an important piece. And I want to make sure we have time for Sophia and everything else we're doing today. So anybody else want to share their content ideas, their class ideas, their outlines? Anybody? No?
I just real quick.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah. Okay. For the personal branding photography, I could just, start with like the importance of personal branding and why it helps you stand out and those kind of things. Also, like simple tips for like preparing for your session, creating mood boards, some posing tips, and those kind of things. Like things that I would talk to my clients during a consultation anyway. I feel
Yeah.
like all these things are part of it because, actually getting the photos done and being the photographer is, I don't give that away. That's the that's the meat, right? So it's easy for me to share like what I would with my clients already, but just on a larger scale all at once.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like you could even show examples of mood boards that your clients have done with you
Mhm.
as like a visual example. Because some people, you have to consider, ladies, too. Thanks for bringing this up, Lisa. The different learning styles of whoever is going to be in your audience. Not everybody is a visual person. Not everybody's an auditory person. Some people are a mix of both. Some people need like actual real examples to look at, right? So it's considering that when you're preparing your content, the way you're going to be teaching,
Mhm.
just making sure that you have examples that people can see, something that they're working with, right? Like the workbook or whatever. So I think that's a great idea. What was the
That
other
could
thing?
even be like part of the activity as them,
Yeah, exactly. You maybe even want to gamify, right? You're maybe running a contest in some of these, ladies, some of your master classes where people are actually engaging in a Facebook group. Like we do that in our big 3-day retreat, right? Where we have we have contests and calls to action the whole time. So you get to have as much fun as you want with your class. This is your space, right? Like you get to
right?
be
I
the
love
expert
that.
here. Yeah. The other thing I was going to say, Lisa, is perhaps like, what are the areas in which they could potentially be using each kind of photo, right? Like sometimes you have to
Mm.
do those silly little like faces and
Yeah, for
pointing
the
fingers because you're
right,
like, this is going to be on a website and
right.
you're advertising something. So, right, like what are the positions that they might need to have for future photos, for a website, for maybe a headshot, maybe it's a back of a book cover, maybe it's a Facebook thumbnail, like whatever it is, right? Just like some of the things
Right.
that these shots could be used for. Because a lot of times what happens is you do a photo shoot and there's like hundreds of pictures and then you're like, well, shoot, I'm doing the same thing in every one, or like, what am I supposed to do with
Right.
all of these, right? And so like just
Right.
more intentionally using the photos and planning for like a shot list that you both agree on or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Before,
yes,
yeah, something like that could be really cool. So yeah,
absolutely. Okay,
love
I love that.
yay. All right. Anybody else before we move on to the offer? Anybody? Okay. All right, ladies. So let's move on to the offer. Now, this is important because this is what you're going to be offering them. You've given them, you know, all this great content. You've engaged them. You've had a wonderful class. They're feeling like they're learning. They're getting something from you. Maybe they're even like, God, I want more of this feeling. I want to feel like I'm in a supportive environment, or I have somebody who's like really got my back, or somebody who really understands what I'm going through, right? Like they're starting to maybe feel like they like to be around your energy, and maybe they want some more of that. If you're doing a good job, right, people are going to want to know kind of what's next, right? So basically the whole time, and I don't know if you have been noticing that I've been doing this entire time, I've been seeding what we do normally, right? I'm saying, oh, in the academy, oh, we go deeper in this in our programs, right? I'm seeding my offer the entire time that we're here in this masterclass. I'm talking about that I have something else that we do, that I have this big program, that I created this, I pivoted out of my old career, blah, 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 right? So I'm seeding. Does that make sense to everybody? That you want to be doing that the whole time, that you're always almost in a pre-offer at all times, right? You also want to be practicing your offer multiple times so that you're comfortable with standing in your worth of what you're going to be able to promise somebody. You know, it's like being comfortable with your prices that you've created. Can you sit there and tell somebody, this is what it costs to work with me? Hold a straight face, hold the tension, sit back and let them think about what that looks like for them, right? Without offering a discount immediately or backpedaling or trying to, like, you know, convince somebody, right? Can you actually stand confidently in what you're offering? Have you practiced it enough? Have you really looked at your time worth value in this situation and said, okay, I own this. This is what I charge. This is what I'm worth. I know what I give. I know what I promise. I know what I deliver, right? So this is really important. This is also some of that inner work that we talk about as the spiritual journey of an entrepreneur. Can I stand by my word of what I'm going to be giving? What's my promise to everybody, right? Using visual aids, something like slides are really helpful to break down your offer. It'll help slow you down a little bit. It depends on what you're offering, right? Like when I'm offering my 12-month program, that takes a little bit to get through via slides. But what it does is it helps me maintain my energy, that I can stay like calm, solid, you know, going through the slides, going through the results and benefits, pausing when it's necessary, right? These are those important pieces to think about. And so helping, you know, visual aids will really actually help a lot with this, because the client, the potential client, gets to see something. They get to look at that. You can even use the visual aid as something that you can bring into a sales conversation later, and it'll kind of help guide the conversation. And you can actually send this to somebody. Hey, this is what we were offering. Here's all the details. You can actually send this as a offer promotional material package, right? So using something like that is helpful. So now the threshold that my mentor talks about a lot is if your offer is something that's more than $2,500, then you want to actually invite them to get one-on-one with you. You can make a paid offer from stage. You know, it's really up to you what you feel comfortable with. You also got to kind of read the room, right? This is where our intuition really comes in handy, because all we have to do is kind of just tap into what we're feeling. And as women, we know, right? So typically you would want to make a one-on-one offer of like a discovery call or a free consult, something like that, right? You want to help people get over their objections to your offer by getting one-on-one with them, because in a big group setting, it's unlikely in one day's time that someone's just going to hand over that card for some big amount of money without a little more follow-up from you, right? So this is a general rule, but you have to do what you feel is best for your business. So typically you always want to at least offer a way to get one-on-one with you after the event. If you have a paid offer that's like, you know, $100, $200, you can absolutely make that from stage. and offer them some bonuses and give them a way to pay you right then and there, right? Like if it's a small kind of ticket thing, it's no problem to offer that from stage, but you have to see where you can hold the edge yourself, right? Okay, so I'm going to, let's see here, stop sharing for a second. Any questions about an offer? Does everyone kind of know what I mean when I say make an offer? Everybody, anybody, we're good? Good on this? Okay. So the activity we're going to do here in the workbook is next would be, what is the title of your free session or program, right? Like, what would you be offering them? For you ladies today, I'm going to offer you a business breakthrough session with me. I want to get up close and personal with your business and see if joining our academy for the rest of the year is an actual good fit for you, right? So I call that a business breakthrough. Like, let's see if this is right for your business and for you. So that's the name of my free discovery session. And the name of my program is we're doing a launch planning, 12-week launch planning course that's happening starting tomorrow, actually, through the end of the year, right? So that's the names of the things that I'm doing. So I would love for you to write that down. What is the title of your free session, your program? What is it that you're offering? Are you clear on that? Do you know what you are trying to offer, right? Is it a program? Is it a service? Is it year long? Is it 6 months? Is it 3 months? Is it kind of open, right? Like, can they become a client of yours? Because we have a few different kinds of niches here in this group right now, right? So what is your programmer offering? Let me share screen again so that we're all on the same page here. What is the promise or the guarantee? So what are the results and benefits of working with you? If you were to come work with me and take this 12-week launch planning class, my promise is that you're going to be launching something along with us by the end of that 12 weeks. There's a sister supported launchathon, and you are going to be fully launched by the time we're done, right? So that is my promise. That is my guarantee. You're going to have all the templates, the bonuses, all these things. That's part of my offer, right? Just to give you guys an example of what I'm talking about. And the final thing is, what is the call to action, the CTA, right? So like, should they book a discovery session with you? Is there a link that they could go sign up with? Like, what is the next step for them? What is the action that you want them to take to be able to work with you somehow? Whether that's just getting them one-on-one or trying to get them to sign up for the bigger thing. All right. Anybody have questions about this final part? Anybody? Okay. Let's take another 5 minutes, and I'm going to have you work on this. You might need a little more time, so I can give you more time if you need more time. But let's start with 5, and let's just start brainstorming your offers. And if anybody wants to chat with me one-on-one right now about it and needs some support with this, I'm here. So sound good? Get this done? All right. Okay. Thanks, Debbie, for coming. Hopefully you can join our launch planning series for the next 12 weeks. So we're really going to go into all of it, you know, as like a refresher for you and everything.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, everybody. It's really inspiring. Bye.
Oh, nice, Debbie. I'd love to hear about your niche clarification. That would be awesome. I don't know if you're still driving, but
I can talk.
okay, yeah, tell me about it.
I am going to help businesses, small business in particular, um, create best practices and their work on their customer service to gain and retain clients.
I love that direction, actually. I feel like it's really needed.
I have over 50 years in customer service, from hairdresser to 411 operator to office manager for the last 20 years. And in my last two positions as office manager, it's like I helped with the the last company I worked for, I did the creation of best practices with both customer service and all of the things in the company that needed to be managed. And yes, customer service is key. And I don't know how many people really recognize that as being a huge part of whether they have a business or not.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
can't even say this enough. I mean, especially with how AI is coming into play here and everything is a robot, right? And you're being put on hold and you're being transferred to like 10 different things and it's not anything that you want. You're getting frustrated, right? Like you're just like, forget it. I don't even want to work with these people. So I
right.
think this is huge. I think it's a dying lost art.
Yes.
And I think that, yeah, if companies were actually to reinstill this kind of humanity in their business, right? I think that's what's going to set them apart for the future, for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's so important. I can't express it enough. And I have, for years, because people need to have that connection.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
I'm excited for you. This is great. So your ideal client, I guess, really is maybe a business that is what, like almost corporate, or is this kind of a small business, but maybe they got like 50 employees? Like kind of what's the range?
well,
for-
the last company that I worked for and the one prior, so this last one that I just retired from, although he asked me last month to come back at the end of this month for a few days before he gets married to help his fiance manage the business while she's preparing to get married. And then they want me to come back while they're on their honeymoon for 2 weeks in October, November. And so I'm like, okay, well, obviously I said I'm going to probably have to come back at least a day or two ahead just to see what they've changed. And the girlfriend said, I didn't change anything that you did. Everything was set up perfectly and it all works. And I'm like, of course it does. I was there for 10 years, well, actually 12 years. So I had plenty of time to, define it, but people just really need to be aware of the value of customer service. And even if it's just in, one of the most important things I think is for people to acknowledge that, if they don't have the answer, that they will work on getting it and set an expectation, not what the customer thinks, but, like, don't just say ASAP. Say, I'm going to see if I can get an answer for you and I will call you back by noon tomorrow.
Right.
Right. So they have an expectation that is clear and concise instead of just ASAP.
I love this. It could even be for a budding business where they want to just integrate this into the infrastructure, like right out of the gate.
Absolutely.
Right. Where it's almost like just part of fulfillment. I mean, even anybody who's running programs and has clients to manage, you have to make sure that your customer service is good and that people are going to be responding to you. Right. And this is where it can be easy to get away from fulfillment when you're trying to, be in promo over something, right? Where you can lose sight of the current clients even. And so like to balance all that. So I see like so much potential here for this niche. So very excited to.
I think it's going to be great. I just need to get everything up and going.
Yep. You can do this, baby. I know it. Debbie and I know each other from the my mentor, and I helped get her into that program. And so we have special needs sons, and we could be connected on a deep level. So so good to see you here, babe. Good. Yay. All right. Let's see. We are timed up with our Holly, go ahead. What was your comment?
I just wanted to comment with Debbie how important the work that she's thinking about doing is so needed. It's just unbelievable. I did some, if she wants to talk to me, I'd be glad to, but we did several hospitality workshops when we were living in Ocean Shores, Washington. And that is, I translated customer service into hospitality training because that's, we did a lot of hospitality or tried to in Ocean Shores. And I did really well with those. But and they were so needed. And even today, it's just unbelievable. I grew up, we raised our family, we lived in Washington, we lived near Seattle. I grew up with the Nordstrom's customer service. I thought every company did that, but it's slipping away, and it's just, I can't encourage her to do enough. If she wants to talk to me a little bit, I'll certainly give her some background and stuff, but it really is needed. It's really, really needed.
100%. Thank you, Holly. Yeah, I mean, I worked at the Four Seasons, and they give you full on etiquette training. I've also worked at, Fairmont Resorts and stuff as well. And it's like, you never say no to the guest. You need to anticipate their need, right? There's like so many things I got out of hospitality training that translate into just everyday life. I feel like children need to know how to, like we need to like teach this at an early age, like how to deal with people, how to be like a human with people, how to deal with conflict in a business, right? How to listen, find a solution, all these things. So yeah, I think it's absolutely very important. All righty. Welcome to Wonder Woman, whoever that is. You are, I love your name. Okay. Oh, I love it. Debbie says she would love to chat with you. She worked for AT&T for 20 years. Yeah, I mean, how many times did I want to like throw the phone across the room because I cannot get through to a human, and I'm like, oh, chat. Like I'm just like I forget it, you know, and I'm just like trying to figure out how to not have this be my service provider for something because I'm so frustrated by it, right? That's not what you want for your customers at all on any scale. So, all right, ladies. So with you guys filling out this last part of the offer before we turn this over to Sophia here in a little bit. Anybody want to share? Yeah, the chat bots. Anybody want to share what they wrote down for their offering? I would love to hear from somebody. Anybody? Holly, do you still have your hand up, or is that from the other thing?
And what are we sharing?
This is we just took that 5 minutes, right? And we had you guys write down what your offerings could be. So if anybody wants to share that, what we just did.
Okay, I have a draft, but let someone else
Okay.
go.
Okay. Anybody want to share? I want to hear from at least one person so we can kind of use it as an example. Nobody? Lisa? She's still here. All right, ladies, I'm here to give you valuable advice and feedback on your
Yes.
draft.
I'm here. I just couldn't
Okay.
get to the button fast enough. Sorry.
All right, lay it on me, babe.
Okay, so are we just, I'm just saying what the offer part is or the whole
Yeah,
thing?
so just what we kind of filled out in the workbook, you know, like what is your programmer offering? What's the promise? What's the call to action? Like any of those things if you want to share. Just
Okay,
getting some-
so I mean, it's still kind of like the title is still a work in progress, but it's kind of like in the vein of like elevate your brand, stand out with stunning brand images or something like that, or high converting, whatever.
Okay, love it.
So I wasn't sure if the offering was what the masterclass is offering or what the end result offer is exactly.
End result
Okay.
offer, right? Yeah, because again, ladies, the masterclass is the selling environment that you're creating to offer them something at the end.
Okay, because
Yeah.
that's what I put. I put a high-end personal branding photography session package kind of a thing. Because that's
Okay,
what I
I love it.
ultimately want them to book.
Okay, and then so
prompts-
what would be, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No worries. The promise is sorry. Compelling brand images that convert, elevate your business, and build trust with your clients.
I love
And
that.
the CTA is book your session today.
I love it. So you also could, you know, have a way, just maybe if they want to just talk to you one-on-one a
Of
little bit
course.
about, you know, so I would say like, let's set up a, you know, photography discovery call or branding session discovery call, something like that, just to get more clear on what your needs are and what you're hoping for, blah, 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 right? Because especially
Yes.
for you with you know, location out of Hawaii, if it rains all the time, there's a lot that could happen in Hawaii with a shoot if you're not using a studio, right? So just
Right.
even like tackling those kind of fears that someone may have about this investment and the date they're planning it on, if they're getting hair and makeup done and then they go to the shoot and it's humid and helo and their hair is getting free, you know what I mean? Like you gotta have
Right.
all these
Yeah.
kind of these little one-on-one conversations. So
Completely.
I
Yeah.
love it. I think that's great. I think that's absolutely perfect. So
Okay.
good job. Okay.
Yay. Thank you.
Okay. Here, Sophia's got her little offer website in a day, which I love, with everything included: SEO, setup, copywriting, design, minimal branding, book a 30-minute audit. I love that. Can we say why we love that? An audit implies that they're going to actually get something done for them, like that's unique, that's one-on-one. So it makes me feel like, ooh, if I take her up on this 30-minute audit, I'm really going to get somebody to take a microscope to what I'm doing, right? And I feel like that's a really hot title for a discovery session, whatever. So I think that's really good, babe. Yeah. Awesome job, ladies. So just want to show you that, you know, let me share screen before we get to Sophia's section. We're not going to have time today to go through the rest of what's happening in this workbook, but I want to show you that there's a whole section here below called next steps, right? And so this is what you would do, and you would be planning out a full launch. You would, first of all, you really want to define your goals and objectives, right? So there's like spaces and places to put all of these things down in this workbook. Utilize this for whatever you're going to be doing. It just helps you kind of fill in the blank. It's like a template for your launch, basically. So we wanted to make sure we got all this to you, even though we can't cover this today. We cover all of this in our launch planning series that starts tomorrow. See how I seeded that just now? So there's a place for you to really brainstorm what you want to, give to people of value, what you want to be doing for your launch. A part here where you want to really get more into identifying your target audience, who you're going to be marketing to. What are the spaces that you can advertise? Where can you find these people, right? So we also created another section for your pre-event planning, task list, deadlines, marketing plan, promotion schedule, collateral, infrastructure tools you're going to use. This just kind of helps you get this all out of your brain and onto paper. So just want you to see that we have all this other stuff for you to use as a complete workbook for creating a 50K masterclass potentially, right? So here, it's all here for you. All right, and then at the end, you can join our big Facebook group here. We have monthly coffee dates as well. You can do all that here from the back page. So I'll stop sharing now. All right, I am going to turn it over to the amazing Sophia. She has made me many a landing page. She is a brilliant designer, branding expert, and she does things really fast and really beautifully. So this talented young lady is going to teach you what you need on a landing page to convert. So go ahead, Sophia, take it away.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited. And I am definitely somebody who over delivers. So be aware and try to take notes, because just getting first a sense, I would like you guys to put a 1 in the chat if you already have a website or landing page. 2 in the chat, and you can do this while I'm bringing up my share screen as well. A 2 in the chat if you are currently or will be DIYing your website. And then a 3 if you're thinking about working with a designer or already working with a designer. And I'm going to be able to see the chat too. Yes, I am Nadina's website designer, and I'm super excited for how it has turned out so far, but we're currently working on it now. Awesome, awesome. Well, we never want to miss out on any opportunity to have online visibility, because this can expand your reach beyond your physical capabilities, beyond what you're telling people in person, and it helps to sell your services without you actually being there. And if you are not familiar with who I am, my name is Sophie, and I am the founder of Mellow Design Studio. I've been a graphic designer for 7 years now and have designed over 50 different websites or landing pages. And I've gotten my degree in psychology, leadership, mental health. So I really, truly love working with humans of every way of life, and also just learning about how they think, why they do things the way that they do. And I am absolutely obsessed with helping women in particular grow their business and work towards their goals and their dreams, doing what they really love to do. Now, today I'm going to be going over the essentials that you need for a website, and I also have the checklist that you can use to help you publish a website or landing page. And speaking of those two terms, I'll be using the words landing page and website interchangeably. But the most important thing to note in the key difference is that a landing page is a page that only has one goal in mind. They can only take one action as they're on your landing page. Whereas a website has many options, avenues for people to explore. It might have some resources. If you're targeting multiple different audiences, you can have pages for each one. And so when you're thinking about what you actually need for your business, let's say if you're just doing an event or offer or have a straightforward business, a landing page might be all that you need. Because if your goal is to get registrations, get people into your offer, to book a consultation, all of those CTAs that we were just talking about earlier. A lot of people will say that you need an entire website, but really, if you're focused on getting people through the door, a landing page is all you need, because when we are offered multiple decisions, a lot of us get overwhelmed with what decision to make. But if we give them one, maybe two options, it's better. With a lot of the big companies, like if you go to Netflix's website, they only have one option, and that's to start a trial. For Disney's homepage as well, they only have get tickets or read about how to get tickets. So we want to give them that limited offer for those of you who are just starting, don't have a lot of avenues to offer at this point. If you are, let's see, oops, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. The goal of our landing page today is, for our event or for our offer, is to take our visitors through a specific thought process. And now that you've gathered everything through what Aisha was talking about before, your branding, and how we were talking about branding photography as well, we're going to gather everything into what we actually need. And I actually forgot a point here, but the power of your website, the reason why you want your own website or even a landing page is that this is your home and it's your rules. You don't have to follow any kind of other platform's rules. You can have what you need, and you get to establish your brand in your own words because other people are going to have opinions about your business. This is where you can establish who you are on your own terms, make your first impression, and build your credibility in the way that you want it to be and to tell your own story. And also establish expectations, because your website, besides your social media, might be the first place that somebody sees your brand and your business. And you want to make sure that you're setting expectations that they can look up to and that you're going to deliver on. And it's all about creating that experience for your visitors and potential clients. So, preparing for your landing page, I'm going to open up here really quickly the preparation checklist. And I just want to make sure that everybody already has the checklist. I put it in earlier, but I can also put it in the chat again. I'm assuming everybody has it. Okay. So as you guys have gone over before with Aisha, we are planning our event. We need to establish what the goal is, what the purpose is of our event, having or identifying our target audience, who this is for, knowing what your offer is going to be. These are all essentials that will then be on your website as well. Knowing also what your next step is. If you have the call to action to have a consultation or to download a freebie, it's getting all of these things ready. So going through, making sure that we have all of the copy, and I'll actually bring up a landing page that will go over step by step. And it's a freebie that I've had for a while now. And it has all of the steps that you need, how to put things in different order, and also what to talk about in each section, just to help you generate some ideas. But as we're getting prepared, You want to make sure that you have your copy, your high quality images, all of your branding, and I've taught branding in the academy as well, but just your logos, your color schemes, your fonts, so that it's all cohesive and it matches everywhere else that you have online where your business shows up. It should all be cohesive because we want to have the same experience. So with high quality images, I do recommend not having stock images, finding a photographer like Lisa to take brand photos, or if you really don't have the budget, take brand photos yourself. You can do Photoshop editing if you need to. And the reason why we want to make sure that we have our own brand photos is to keep up that credibility and keep up that expectation on who they're working with, especially if you are a personal brand and you're the face of your business. You want to make sure that your website shows who they're working with as soon as they get there. With technical requirements, this is just a checklist, a general checklist that you can go through, choosing your website builder, making sure that you have your domain. And if you have email marketing services, whatever it is in third parties that you need, just making sure that you have all of that together. SEO elements, you can use ChatGPT to help you with doing some keyword research on your particular brand. Make sure that you put in your unique value proposition, and also good other tools for research might be Ubersuggest or Google Google Trends, things like that. You can search up keywords that are related to your business. And then for those of you who are working in specific industries that require compliance issues, like for example, Henadina, we are working on making sure that the insurance companies or the financial companies that she's working with are cohesive with our own, and that we're not saying anything that we're not supposed to be saying. I've actually worked with another person in the Crown group as well, Kathleen, who is a financial advisor. She can't say specific things or can't guarantee specific things on her website. And it's all things that we really need to know before designing, before writing our copy. So if you are one of those businesses, make sure that you go through and do your research. Everybody should also have a privacy policy if you are collecting any personal information. This means if you're collecting names, emails, phone numbers, you all have to state what you do with somebody's personal information, and it makes your site legal. If you do not have that, somebody can sue you, and it is a bad time. We just want to make sure that we have everything together. Now, for the essentials of a landing page, I'm actually going to bring up the landing page freebie that I have for you. Oops, give me just a second. I don't know why it's not coming up. Here we go. Okay. Can everybody see this landing page here? I think. Okay. So with this landing page, let's talk about the essentials of what to have. Thank you, Debbie. On your landing page as we go through. So this is actually something that I'm going to leave with you guys at the very end. I'll give you the link on where you can get this landing page if you just need to look at it for inspiration, or if you want to use it as your own template, it is also good for that as well. So in your essentials for landing page, one of the first ones is powerful headlines and subheadings. So with the information that you've gone over with Aisha, with your purpose, your mission, the transformation that people are going to have, the offer or the benefits that they're getting, will go into creating your powerful headlines. I have a couple of tips in here for your checklist as well. Calling out your target audience in the main header, offering or telling what you offer in your value, and then the subheading can be how you deliver on that value or the transformation that they're going to go through. Another good one is using or what people can do with the value that you're getting. Another one here, this is one, or the next section is where we will talk about your unique value proposition, identifying your pain points and how you're going to deliver on that solution. A great tip for this is using sentences that people will use themselves to describe their own problem. Let them know that you know their problem better than they do. What's keeping them up at night? What are things that they're constantly worrying about? And other pain points that you might have gone through in the past in this event so far. So after you identify their pain points and their problems, this is where you can say, with us, this is what you're going to get. This is why we're different. List benefits of what you do, what they get while working with you. And this can also be emotional benefits. It could be physical benefits. And also making sure that you have high quality images here and on your website, because the images that you are putting, or the visual content that you're putting on, can actually help in keeping up the emotion that you want them to feel. You can use certain pictures that have how Aisha was talking about, pointing at different things, looking at different things as well. Can be great graphics, or if you really don't have or can't get any branding photos, having animated graphics on what they can do with your value, what you can do for them, and what they're going to get out of working with you. So this is where you can introduce yourself. Like, I have been through exactly what you've been through, just how we were talking about our story. This is why I'm the person for you to be able to finally solve your problem. Or you can also talk about who I am, why you are in your profession, and how you got there. The next one before you get into your program is giving your social proof. So social proof can come in a couple of different ways. It can come in testimonials. It can come in social media ratings, Google ratings, Facebook ratings, and make sure that you're paying attention to about what people are texting you, what people are commenting, because little things can be testimonials, even if you don't think they are. Even if they're small comments here and there, they can be used as testimonials. If you don't have, and you're just starting, you don't have any social proof whatsoever, you can also use trust signals. So this might be your guarantee. If you don't have testimonials or social proof, you can be like, okay, if I don't deliver on what I say I'm going to deliver, then this will happen. I've ran through a few different ideas for my own offers, such as if I don't deliver your website in 24 hours, then you get this extra website page or a discount or whatever it could be. But thinking about what will happen if your client doesn't like your service or event or offer, or what happens if, say for specific events, what happens if they miss it? You can offer recordings of the session. And then this is where we will introduce the program or the event, what the title of the event is, and then also create scarcity. So this can be a timer, like how there was a timer at the very top of the page. It can follow you down, or it can also reappear here. You can say for a limited time, we are offering these bonuses, blah, 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 whatever your offer might be. And depending on if you're selling your program or if you're doing an event or if you're selling an ongoing service, you can also put the price. You can say for a limited time, we have a discount of this much. And that will be supported by this next section. This is where we introduce our bonuses and talk about objections, or what's the word? To work through the objections in people's heads. So this could be frequently asked questions section, or it can be adding bonuses. A good tip for these is adding monetary values to your bonuses to make the perceived value go up. So I included both two sections here if you wanted to have a frequently asked questions section and also a section for bonuses. And you can also, yes, so one landing page can have this. It's almost like, instead of having a full website page, you're taking them through this process in just one page. And then at the very end or throughout the page, you'll have call to action so that people can take action right when they feel that they know you can solve their problem. If they feel trust towards you, they can take action throughout, but it's better to have a long landing page than a very short one, so that you can cater to all the objections or to the thought process, because there are people who don't need a lot of information to get started. They just need to know what this does for them and it's good. Or you can also cater in this one landing page to the people who need more information. So this section is also another section just for testimonials. If you have it, you can make this landing page. You can make this landing page as short if you want it to, like cut out sections that you feel like you don't need. Let's say you don't have bonuses, like you're not putting in your offer right away, you're just doing an event. You can cut out these extra bonuses and things like that, and then use the same page to, when you're done, have an offer for them to go through that explains the entire program that you're trying to sell. And then after the testimonials, when people are feeling like they can get on the bandwagon, because testimonials are like, if it works for them, it can work for you. And once they have that feeling of, okay, I think this will work, I think all of my objections are resolved, then you can give them the final call to action, which is just summarizing the benefits, the solution, and the limitations or the time limit, whatever it might be, the flash sale. The last part, I won't go over too much. It's just the publishing checklist, all of the technical aspects of just, if you're designing your own website, making sure that you just go through the functionality testing, making sure that everything works, and making sure, as Holly talked about, we're going to be doing our talk about promoting websites and having responsive design. Yes, I can go to the top of the page. But I just wanted to leave time as well for you guys to ask any questions about website design, about landing page design tips as well. I am happy to answer.
I have a question, Sophia.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
So sounds like this might work really well with what the masterclass where Aisha was talking about, you know, what is your offer? What is your program? So if you have people that show up for a webinar that you promote, that you can utilize this as part of the call to action, come go to my landing page, and this
Mhm.
is where you'll be able to sign up for such and such or learn more or do a one-to-one class or something of that nature. Would you say that that would be a great way to utilize the landing page along with the master class?
Absolutely. Really, this outline of a sales page can work in also website settings as well. So what a lot of big companies will do, or that small business kind of middle tier, what they'll do is actually use landing pages for their featured services. So kind of like what I was talking to you about, having one page for one of your audiences offering the financial advice education, and that's that route of your business, and then having a separate landing page for your building a team. So you can use it for your featured services. Honestly, I would recommend them the most for people with bigger offers, more expensive, like higher tier offers. With smaller, very straightforward services or products, you don't need this much of a landing page. But events, offering programs, even like brand photography as well, website design, brand design can both, website and branding design could also be two separate landing pages if you wanted them to. But really, you can utilize landing pages in almost every stage of your business if you wanted to. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah. I will bring this up really quickly as well. Just in case any of you wanted to, if you're going throughout your design process and want to ask any questions, also this big QR code up here is that free landing page. And this little one down here is just for my contact information. If you scan it with your phone, you should be able to save my contact right away. So please don't hesitate to ask any questions throughout the design process, with either copy, because we do offer copy as well, or just design tips as well.
Yay, that was amazing, Sophia. Is there anything left that you have for them?
No, I think I might have talked too fast.
I think you did great. How many people think she did great here? Yes. Thank you, darling. I love it. It's like exactly what you need to get this done, right? This is not, it's not always as easy as everyone wants to make it sound like it is online, right? You see a lot of advertising and a lot of like, oh, you could just do this. So no, this takes a lot of planning, right? It takes a lot of effort. You know, this is not easy to do. So yeah, we are so lucky to have someone like Sophia on the team. All right, ladies. Well, thank you for being here today. I just wanted to, I'll have you maybe stop screen sharing, babe, real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to be sending out the replay and a link where you can book directly with me. I would love to get one-on-one with any of you who are interested. I do want to offer, share a little offer that we have with you, right? So, because it wouldn't be a complete masterclass without an offer like I just taught you. So let me get that for you. I have a little visual aid like I was telling you about. But basically, you've heard me say that we're going to be starting our launch planning series for our academy tomorrow. So there's still time to join us. In 12 weeks, you could be launching something. Oops, there goes my computer. Are you still with me? You guys still there? Don't do that when you're doing your offer, just so you know. So Sophia has been in the academy. A lot of these ladies that you've seen here today have been in the academy, and or actually Sophia's in the crown. We do a lot better as women when we're in community around something, right? When we're actually working together with other women, when we have feedback, when we're in the energy of other people doing the same thing, we can get a lot more done. So you would be joining us with the rest of the current clients that are already in. And so there's already like a group of amazing ladies going to be doing this with you. And they love to bring in the fresh blood and have people join us. The more that we have, the more that we can all help each other be affiliates and share each other's events. We actually offer a sister-supported launch-a-thon as well. So what's going to be happening for the next 12 weeks is tomorrow, September 10th, we're going to be committing to what we're going to be launching. We're going to be setting up infrastructure. Week 2, we're going to be going into our pre-launch checklist and planning. You'll be with what you need to actually create a launch. And so I'm going to be able to actually look at you guys. I'm trying to unpin myself. Sophia, can you unpin me, or are you not a host? Can you hear me, babe? I can't see any of you.
Yes, I'm unpinning you.
Okay, thank you. I'll be able to see all of you. Okay. I'm gonna look at my view. Okay. Oh, I can't see the front, you guys. All right, let me try this. There we go. There you are. Okay. All right. So week 2, we're going to get into everything that you need for the launch. Week 3, we're going to be getting really clear, like how we did this morning with all the messaging. We're going to actually choose the messaging. We're going to create your titles for your event. We'll be learning about how to create really beautiful graphic images like Sophia just kind of showed you, right? She's going to be teaching as well throughout this series, and she'll be bringing in her expertise as well. And we'll have a couple other people coming in as well. Week 4, we're going to be doing all the copy. There's so much copy that goes into a launch. You need copy for your sales pages, your website, your social media, your emails, your follow-ups, right? All of these things like announcing your event, right? You need copy for all the things. So we'll be working on that. A lot of this is very experiential. You'll be doing this in real time in class to just be getting this stuff done. When you don't have that specific time set apart, a lot of times we just let these things drown us and we actually won't get them done. So week 5, we're going to be creating your promotional marketing materials, your funnel, setting up your event, getting it out there so that the public can start to sign up and join. Week 6, we're going to learn about affiliates, referrals, testimonial gathering, how to create a media kit. Week 7, story marketing. So going more into that story that we kind of worked on a little bit briefly today. The content, like we worked on a little bit today, like deeper into the content for your event, the logistics for your event, like what it actually takes to put something like this on or something similar. Week 8, we have a big 4-hour VIP day. This is sales training. A lot of times women have a hard time selling. We're going to bust through all of those issues in our 4-hour day. And then week 9, we're finalizing that offer, right, that we kind of went through today. Week 10, you're going to get all the technical stuff worked out. We're going to bring in some tech training. Week 11, we're going to be doing a sister-supported launch-a-thon where we all are picking the date and what we're going to be launching, and we sign up to be each other's wing women. So that's happening that final week before Thanksgiving, before Black Friday, before all the holiday sales. We're going to be doing our launch all together as one big sisterhood. Week 12, we're going to deal with all the post-launch follow-up. This is a major topic, and if you don't have a proper follow-up game, then that's where you lose a lot of your fortune. The fortune is in the follow-up, right? And finally, December 3rd, we're going to go into profit planning for next year, for 2025. And then December 10th is our graduation ceremony. So this is what we are doing in the next 12 weeks, and we'd love to invite you to join us. If you want to join us, we're going to be sending out an email to everybody that attended. You can get one-on-one with me. And if tomorrow feels like, oh my God, I can't start, it's tomorrow, it's okay. Everything's recorded. You could go back and watch the replay. I could catch you up on a different day so that you're staying with us for the rest of the program. So we just wanted to offer you that. Thank you for coming. And I would love to get one-on-one with you, all of you that are here. So make sure to book with me and let me know if you have any questions right now. Anybody? Questions, comments, anything? All right, ladies. Well, thank you again, Sophia, for being here. What time, Debbie? It meets every Tuesday from noon to 2 Pacific is what we do. Yeah. I think it changes when the daylight savings happens in November. It'll move to, I think, 11 to 1 for us. So I have a lot of Hawaii people. And so they don't do time change, we do. So I have to cater to that. You have to know your audience, right? That's exactly what we're saying. Yeah, it's 2 hours once a week. Yep, for the next 8 weeks. Yeah, or 12 weeks. Yeah. And this is something that I've been teaching and doing, God, for the last, 9 years straight. I've been involved in many $1 million launches with my mentor. I've been on her sales team. I've done my own events. So this is something I live and breathe. And I would love to help you. We would love to bring you into our amazing supportive community. Sophia, do you want to speak to like how amazing the ladies are in the program?
Yeah, absolutely. Even in the very first event that I attended, the Let's Get Visible 2023, I immediately was able to make so many close connections that ended up like everybody was either in or coming into the academy, which was really fun. And even those that like we're all doing our own thing in our business, everybody's like, do you need help? How can I support you this month? Or let me know if you're doing your event, which is super huge, especially as you're just starting and you are, I know I never feel sure about like doing my first event on my own. There's a lot of people in our network who just want to be there to support you, and even just be like, even though you're making an offer and it's maybe not for them, they're just there to support you, give you more heads in the room, and build your credibility as well. So even not just the support of your business and like you as an entrepreneur, but helping you to build that credibility is also building your network and your community as well. So I really like have taken a lot from our community and from everything that I'm learning as well. And also the accountability. And I know my sister says the same thing as well. She's like, the accountability is why I'm still working on my business.
It definitely helps to have other people doing the same things and keep you on your game. So if you guys want to meet one-on-one with me and talk more about the details of the program, we also have some really amazing bonuses that we're going to be offering, and you get one-on-one coaching with me throughout the rest of the program, which is crazy because the cost of working one-on-one with me is actually less than the cost of this program, and you get to have me as well. So I want to fully support you through your launch, and I really want you getting something done, taking advantage of the last 4 months of this year, because we still have time. The year is not over. We have a lot of time to accomplish our goals for the rest of the year, and it's so much easier to do it with community. So all right, ladies. Well, thank you so much for being here. I got to get my son off the bus right now, but I will hopefully be seeing some of you later. And for those of you who are in the academy, I will see you tomorrow. Right? Mwah.
Thank
Love
you so
all.
much.
Thank you for being here.
It was
Thank you. So nice to
wonderful.
meet you. So nice to meet you, Hannah Dina. All right,
Okay, nice
ladies.
to meet you all.
Aloha.
Bye, Aisha.